So it's 2020. The Agile Manifesto came out in February 2001. So fast forward 19 years, and where is Agile today? Organizations have desires to become disruptive, but have a difficult time driving the change they need to get them moving in that direction. So let's face it, change is hard. So most of the time, we even have problems in our personal lives to be able to adapt to change. So in reality, most organizations are lucky to be able to sustain in today's fast-moving cultural and economic shifts. So let's take a look at how the Agile Mindset, and if we can better understand how each individual contributes to change, that you're more likely able to drive the results that you need to make it stick. So come join me on my video as we discover this together. So for the latest trends and creative ways in Agile and how to be an effective change maker in both your personal and professional life, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video every Wednesday. So part of being an Agile coach is to be a continuous learner and have the ability to easily adapt to change. This also means being at the driver's seat of pushing it forward. That's game-changing Agile. I help bridge the gap between Agile applied in your everyday and Agile seen within organizations. The common thread is the ability to adapt to change and how best to understand how you can be effective in helping drive it. Quick Agile in a nutshell with a visual here. And so I am using from Project Brilliant. They have this graphic called the Tree of Agility, and I kind of like it, right? It's a nice snapshot. And so you'll see here in the being state of Agile, you have the roots of the tree, which is the values, right? The foundation. And so we have our four values, right? Such as customer collaboration, people, which is my favorite, come first. And then as we move up into the trunk, we have our 12 Agile principles. So these are principles like welcoming change, maintaining a simplicity, as I love keep it simple, stupid, self-organizing teams, and then also having continuous attention, which is really a focus on quality. And as we move up more into the branches, and so this is really starting to move from being to doing, are your Agile frameworks. And so these are frameworks like Scrum, XP, and then if we're looking at more scaling type of frameworks, we have SAFe, LESS, Scrum at Scale, and whatever's new that comes out there today, right? There's always something. And then as we move more into the leaves and the smaller branches or those supporting practices that were used within the frameworks. And so these, for example, would be a WIP limit. This would be the type of burn down charts. These are definitions of done. So these are those examples in relation to practices. So we have being, which is really more of the values and principles, right? This is the state of mind. And then as you move up, we have frameworks and practices. And so here is your tree of agility and Agile in a nutshell. All right, so our next thing is I Googled the word Agile. And so when you Google the word Agile and you get a definition, you get this: able to move quickly and easily. And if you look, you get words like graceful, perceptive, intelligent, and nimble. And then there's another definition underneath, which is able to think and understand quickly. Oh, but here's a bonus.
Relating to or denoting the method of project management used especially for software development.
So this is, when you actually Google and look up Agile, this is what you get. Now the bottom piece, if this is related to Agile development, right, software development, or just kind of that original circa 2001, you can probably see it has not changed. But here's the beauty. If I take the ones that matter most, this is probably more like Agile. What do you guys think? So here's the question. How do you define Agile? Comment below and let me know, because I'm really interested on what your definition of Agile is. We're going to talk about the Agile Mindset. And so I use this a graphic by Nigel Holmes that shows the difference between a growth and fixed mindset. And so there's a lot of articles about this. One in particular is a book by Carol Dweck. You'll also, if you Google, there's a lot of TEDx type of videos that you can watch her speak. But her book is The Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. And so really at the end of the day is on the right side, this is where we strive to be as agilists. Also, when we work on that root part, right, of the being agile in the values and principles, is really trying to get that growth mindset part embraced on our values and belief systems. And of course, the fixed mindset is where we struggle with, right, every day, even myself, just trying to get ourselves more into that right side. It is not all or one. You can actually, at different of these stages that you're seeing here, you can be fixed in one area and be open in another. So it is definitely something to really have self-awareness and understand some of these areas that you might have as you start to work and develop yourself as an individual. We're going to get into the fun things. I think it's fun. Well, this is really talking about why change is hard. And so this example that I have, and there's a lot of them out there, is this trans-theoretical model, Stages of Change by Prashaka. And this really kind of gets an idea of the stages as an individual as they go through change. And by the way, as you progress, it's not like you can't go back, right, to the beginning of it. And so that first one is getting a sense of awareness and acknowledgement that there is actually a problem, right? You hear people say, well, if they don't even know it's a problem, then they're not really going to want to work on it, right? Well, this is that case. Contemplation is when they start to actually acknowledge that there's a problem, but they're kind of flip backing and forth and weighing their odds about it. And so give an example about smoking, right? So they're debating about it in their head or even vocally, that the advantages of continuing, right? It's a stress relief. It's a social thing. They like their smoke breaks. But then they think about the disadvantages. And so they might go about the health, being, expensive. Maybe the fiance hates it, And then they might go back into the advantage of it, right? So they're flip-flopping back and forth about, saving money, about their health again, about their, improvement of relationships. And so they might go back again to disadvantages such as the social and, an outlet for stress. And so they're going to go back and forth in this stage. And then once they actually go through this and settle it in their head, they're going to start to actually think to begin actually taking experiment into small steps, right, towards that change. And so this is really starting to think about the plan. And so this is where they are really getting that preparation and planning together to take action. Now, this is one good example that I think resonates with me a lot is, when you create a workout plan, how many of you have had struggle with that, right? And so you go, oh, I'm going to schedule twice a week for 45 minutes, and it's going to be Monday and Wednesday, and we're going to do it every day at 5 p.m. This is that preparation time, right? You're kind of getting motivated and trying to create some structure around it. So when we move on to the action stage, it's actually putting it to action. And so this is where you put those plans into place. You make more significant behavioral changes. And I think this is the important piece. This is where when you start doing something, right, your behaviors start changing. And so this is why it's so important to start doing those practices and following those frameworks, right? So we hear all the time, well, you're not following Scrum. You didn't even try. You kind of made it up your own way. Well, same thing about working out, right? you need to follow what probably the instructor is telling you to do before you go and start customizing it. You might not get the results you want. Now, in this action stage, it could be where this could last from 1 to 6 months, they say, and according to this theoretical model. So that's quite a ways to have to think about when you're working and coaching with teams, that a month, 6 months, that they should be actually practicing this. Now, think about this after, at the minimum, 6 months, right? And this is actively practicing. They are in this maintenance stage, and that's when you actually get the desired behaviors. So let me repeat this. Maintenance mode, and based on this model, takes at least by 6 months for it to actually stick. I'm going to let you simmer on that one. It is a quick snapshot of some of the types of ways that people can contribute to change or lead change. And so this is based on the GC index, where you can measure people's natural energy towards where they want to best contribute. So this is what they actually want to do. The change maker profile is centered around everything about change. And so these descriptions here are related to that change maker profile. And I'll cover this in another video, but I just wanted you to see it and hit home on the point is, it's not a one size fits all to how people look at change, how people will help contribute to change, or even want to drive change, right? You have somebody that is a charismatic leader, which will really be about the energy and really be 100% backed by be a person that naturally challenges the status quo and really believes in change, very open-minded about it. And they're also good at communicating, getting others involved. That is that combination. Well, someone else might be a pragmatic executor, which most top executives and companies are, by the way. That's not going to be something they care about. And so this kind of gives you an idea, if you're really wanting to drive change and the results that you need, that you probably would want to figure out, who do you have in your organization, and how would they want to contribute to change? What does it look like? What kind of combinations do you have? And how confident are you that you know? If you would love to learn more on the Agile Changemaker workshop for teams, or a one-on-one session on finding out how best to contribute as a changemaker, click the contact link on my website, and all links to the books I referenced today will be available in the description of this video. All right, so tune in every Wednesday to learn more on changing the game with Agile. Now, if you like the video, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe and share it with your friends.